So yeah, as I was saying, there may be this tendency of, with the sun in Taurus, you feel me, of not wanting to entangle and deal with emotions, because you know Taurus is a sign that deals with stability and security, if what I'm saying. And with that being said, it may not want and it may not like to deal with emotions, because emotions in of themselves are very unstable. But we gotta keep in mind, right? I gotta keep in mind also that you do have your moon. You have your moon in Pisces in a water sign. You feel what I'm saying? Um, but nevertheless, you feel what I'm saying? It, like, what that means is that, like, on the surface level, like when you're out and about and you're engaging, because your sun deals more so with your public persona, meanwhile your moon deals with your more so intimate personal connections. You feel what I'm saying? And so, yeah, with your sun being in Taurus, there is that indicator of not having an ability or capacity to deal with emotions, because they are unstable. You feel what I'm saying? Um, yeah. And so, anyways, let's get into let's go deeper into your sun. So with your sun being in Taurus, Taurus is a sign that deals with possession. It deals with money. It deals with acquiring things. Now you have your sun in the 10th house, and the 10th house is the house of reputation, the house of credit, the house of honor. You feel me? Most of the times when people have the 10th house, right, they have a desire for business. They have a desire, like I said earlier, to want to be recognized for some sort of endeavor, some sort of accomplishment. You feel what I'm saying? Um, yeah. And so, with you having your sun in Taurus, this is an indication of having a desire to want to be recognized according to your, like, security, financial security, possibly. If what I'm saying, that's what Taurus deals with. It deals with money, but it also deals with, like, beauty. And so you may have a desire to want to be recognized for things associated with that line. You feel me? Of maybe beauty or harmony. Um, but so ultimately, Taurus is it's a sign being ruled by the planet of social energies. This can even be an indication of you having a desire to want to be recognized and acknowledged for those contributions you give onto humanity. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah. With Taurus, it's like they're here to master the material realm 100%. And in this life, they're meant to, learn to acquire material possessions and not have to worry about money or material energy. But it's like once they acquire that material possession, you feel what I'm saying? Like with the sun in the 10th house, there's a continual pursuit and desire to want to reach your Achilles, not Achilles heel, but like, your zenith, your highest expression. But it's like with the sun being here, there is a great ambition of energies, but it's like once you get to that zenith, there may be an energy of like, damn, wow, so I did all of that, but what now? You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's important to understand that your ultimate goal, once you get there, there will always be more. And there will always be more. You feel me? Because it's like once you are done with this life, you die. And it's like there is a grander picture, you feel me? A bigger picture that's beyond this lifetime. And it's like this lifetime is a vehicle that's going to get you from point A to point B, spiritually speaking. And so it's important to understand that. And it's important to understand that as a Taurus, once you do acquire that material security, that you have to learn to utilize your material security and stability as a form to like exalt your soul. You feel what I'm saying? And once you have that material security, then it's most definitely of value and significance for you to um, utilize your resources for spiritual goals and spiritual achievement and attainment. You feel what I'm saying? Very much with the moon and sun and Taurus. And so with the sun and Taurus also, there is this likeliness. So Tauruses, they may be more reserved with their money habits in the way that they spend money, but it's like Pisces is more so giving. You feel what I'm saying? So is Leo. It's more giving. So I would say, with all that being that you and of yourself are an individual who may be very prosperity orientated with your wealth and your abundance and prosperity. But one thing I think I should talk about with this here is the fixated nature, you feel what I'm saying, of the Taurus energy, the Pisces energy, and even the Leo energy. There may be a tendency of like being overly fixated in your ways and like not wanting to change, you feel me? And needing something outside of you to be that force which propels you towards changing, you feel me? You may not be a self-starter. And there may even be an energy of like getting stuck in a rut that you need to learn to find ways to overcome and to overcome and bypass. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like in so many ways, the bypassing of that energy is getting out of the little picture and looking into like the bigger picture and understanding the bigger picture. Because it's like the thing about Taurus also is they can have a tendency of being so worried and so pulled into the material world that sometimes, as the saying goes, they may forsaken the tree for the forest. You feel me? Like, meaning they may be so focused on one specific thing that is going wrong in their lives that they miss the fact that they have all of these other amazing things that are going right in their lives. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, ultimately that's like the Taurus energy. And I guess like one more advice I can give is like maybe like looking into Taurian careers. You feel me? Like even getting into clothing maybe and selling clothing. Maybe something that may be in alignment, or maybe something you did in the past. You feel me? Modeling even is a possibility. All those energies for sure. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. That's like your moon in Taurus. And I think I should also highlight the fact that the Taurus energy is very sense oriented. They're very sensual, They love like touch, and they just love touch a lot. You feel me? And it's like, because Tauruses may not do so well with emotional entanglement, they may prefer like just sensual. I mean, because they're sensual, that sensuality can extend to sex, but it's like a lot of Tauruses may also be afraid of the emotional entanglement that takes place through the engagement of sex. You feel what I'm saying? But then like with your moon being in Pisces and your ascendant being in Leo, I don't think that's you. You're not really afraid of that entanglement. Another thing I think I can also talk about is like there can be this misconstrued energy with Taurus revolving around affection, and them sometimes interpreting affection for a sexual act. You feel me? Like someone showing them affection as someone being sexual, but it's like that may not completely be the case. Sometimes people just may be affectionate in their ways and just may genuinely want to show you love. You feel what I'm saying? But in many ways, that's like the sun in Taurus in the 10th house. Now let's look at the moon. So your moon is in Pisces in the 8th house. So it's of great importance to understand first and foremost the delusional nature of Pisces. You feel what I'm saying? Pisces, typically they're known for wearing rose-colored glasses, not seeing things for how they actually are in reality, but how they think they should be. Not even how they think they should be, but how they think they are. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. It's also ruled by Jupiter, but also Neptune. And Neptune is the planet of like utopian society. You feel me? It deals with utopian thoughts. It deals with brotherhood, sisterhood. You feel me? Familyhood, you can say, and everything just being perfect and everything being good. And so Pisces being associated with this planet, they may walk through life with in a sense, unintentional ignorance of what things actually are, like the harsh realities of life, and rather attaching to an idea that's more idealistic and that may even be a little bit naive. You feel what I'm saying? Especially with the moon in Pisces. So it's of great importance to also understand that a lot of the disappointment that comes with the moon in Pisces energy derives from you expecting or perceiving someone of a certain perfection that may be beyond human. And then it's like when that person shows you that they're not perfect and they're flawed, then this can cause a great sense of disappointment and even betrayal type energy. You know what I'm saying? But it's like there's a need to understand that never existed to begin with, but it was a perception and conception that derived from your mind. Like you idealize this person, and and it doesn't even have to be a person. It can be a circumstance or an environment. Like just Pisces tend to walk around the world with like rose-colored glasses. You feel what I'm saying? And they may not see things as they actually are, but see things the way they want them to be. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's like the opposite sign to Pisces is Virgo. And Virgo is a very realistic sign. They deal with reality and they deal with how things are rather than how things should be. You feel me? And so with that being said, with that being said, what is of importance here is, of course, first to come to the understanding and realization that there can be rose-colored energies pertaining with you, and you may have an approach on certain things that may be more centered in naive energy than reality. See, Virgo is a sign that deals with analysis. You feel what I'm saying? But then Pisces is a sign that deals with belief. So they may be inclined more so towards what they believe than what they receive through analytical data collection. You feel what I'm saying? But then of course, like Taurus is a very thorough sign. It's a very thorough sign, and you do have an ability to pick up and perceive and go through things thoroughly and understand. But then there may be this emotional desire to like that may distort what you see and what you perceive. And so it may even be an energy of you knowing or you having some sort of awareness in the sense that you're not fully grounded in reality, but it's just like your emotional space and it's your emotional comfort to more so. And this can even be a coping mechanism. Not even can be, but it probably is a coping mechanism that resulted in. What's up?
Yo, you videotaping?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're.
I know, bro. I know. It's all good.
Okay? All right.
Yeah. Anyways, it's like, for instance, like the whole scenario with me being interrupted. My first response and reaction it wasn't a response, it was a reaction. My first reaction was like, how dare you interrupt me while I'm recording? But then it's like, that's not real. Like, I have to understand that, one, I never really made it clear not to be interrupted. and two, it's like so really it's just one. Like that's all. So I can't really be mad or upset about them interrupting because, I never asked them to. It's like I just expected them to, and that's like me being thinking that people just should know better. When in reality a lot of people don't know better, and it's like you also okay, as a Pisces. Now let's go back to you as a Pisces. What's of importance also is to understand because Pisces can be a very perceptive sign. They have an ability to see many different perspectives. It's of great importance to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes, and not even from a place of emotions and feelings, because Pisces are very good at doing that. Where it's like you get sucked in, and you get locked in a sympathetic flow between you and the person, and what happens is, you and the person like are linked, and you as the Pisces, you being more like plastic and receptive, you start to, in a sense, embody that person's emotions, and you start to become more like that person. And so the pain that they felt, you may feel. But then what happens here that's toxic is, as a result, like it may even be like, because sometimes unintentionally, Pisces, I think this is Taurus as well, because of their inability to know how to deal with emotions and their desire for stability. But a little bit Pisces more than Taurus, I would say. This energy of like maybe hurting the people that you first came with the intention of wanting to heal. But it's like sometimes what happens is, in doing that, it's a way of releasing that toxic emotion that you received from them to begin with. You feel what I'm saying? And I hope that what I just said there made sense. But yeah, I did have to throw it out there that Pisces is very receptive, and a lot of the emotions you may be feeling and you may go through throughout your day, it's not even dealing with like the present moment, and it's not even, or is it even dealing with your emotions, but you're very receptive to the collective consciousness. And you may pass someone who maybe is grieving because they had a loss, and you didn't even talk to them, you didn't really even know that they existed, but subconsciously you picked up on their energy, and so because of that, now you're upset, and now your day has changed trajectory. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like with you having the moon in the 8th house, a lot of the emotions you feel are in the past. Like there is this energy of you being stuck in the past, and you needing to learn to bring yourself back to the present moment. And like the way you do that is, like I was saying earlier with the perspective thing. So by me understanding that, look, when they came and interrupted me, from their perspective, they thought they were doing me a favor. Like they wholeheartedly probably believe that, yay, I'm gonna go get this dude and I'm gonna tell him that the food is ready, and he's gonna be so happy because he's gonna be able to eat. You feel me? So it's like, and it's always like that is very powerful, especially for a Pisces, to learn how to be able to put yourself in another person's shoes and understand how in their reality they think they're right. And so this is more about healing and learning to bring yourself to a positive atmosphere than anything else. It's not that you're making excuses for people or justifying their ill behavior, but it's like by doing that, it allows you to feel that unconditional love that you want, and that you may continuously find yourself seeking for through others. You feel what I'm saying? And Pisces, of course, is a sign that has tremendous abilities to love unconditionally, but with their rose-colored glasses and their ideology that things are supposed to be a certain perfection, they may find themselves going through life where they may feel like people are wrong because they're flawed or they do certain things that's not human. My bad, that is human. You feel what I'm saying? And it may even be like having a idea of universal perfection where everything is harmonious and peaceful, and then when you know, people don't meet that standard, there's a disapproval, but that disapproval goes on to even yourself, and like not being fully in your power because you think that as a human you're not living to your fullest potential as the loving being that you can be. And it's like important to learn to start cultivating compassion for yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Like really, really cultivating compassion and love for yourself. Like that's something that like would be of great value and importance for you to learn to work with and even work on. And I do feel that you are on that path of self-love, you feel me, and cultivating that energy for yourself. So I'm pretty sure it's not anything new, but it's just a confirmation. You can even take it as. But yeah, So yeah, like I said, with the learning to see other people's beliefs, and learn to put yourself in their shoes and learning how, okay, so that person right there, they probably have beliefs that in their head is justified. And so what this does is it produces harmony inside of you. And so, Pisces, it's a very, like, it gets influenced by its environment, but it has a great ability to influence the environment as well. Very vibey, like, And so when you get into that positive space amongst people, even if they're ill and they're negative, then you create like a positive atmosphere around that kind of pulls people in, and it gets them comfortable rather than insecure and feeling like they're being judged or criticized or something like that for not meeting a certain ideal. But it's like, and through allowing that space of unconditional love, you also allow individuals to bring out that perfection that is truly within them. And it's like you have to understand that in life, in the path of ascension, it's not about adding things to you, it's about removing things to you. And it's like the more things you can remove, the better. And it's like when you're in a space of unconditional love, then it's like you help other people get into that space more easily and express themselves more easily as well. And I hope that makes sense, most definitely. Now, with Pisces in the 8th house in the moon, this highlights and signifies the importance of having a spiritual path in which you walk on. You feel what I'm saying? And understanding that your path of internal travel is important. And when I say internal travel, I mean like, see, just as we move around in this world, we also must learn how to move around in the internal world. And then I love these placements of yours, because it's like, with your sun being in Taurus, it's an indicator that materially you're good. You are very routine orientated, probably a creature of habit. You know what I'm saying? Financial stability and money probably comes to you with ease. You got that in the bag. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the thing about enlightenment, and spirituality, that a lot of people miss, is the fact that there's an old Buddhist saying, right? Before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. You feel me? After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. In the sense that enlightenment and spirituality is not separate from life, but it's very integrated and it's very one with life. In the sense that, there are certain profound spiritual perceptions that dawn upon us when we're doing mundane things, like maybe we're just cleaning the dishes, sweeping or whatever, and like, so it's like it's of great importance to understand from an integrative perspective that spirituality is about life as totality. But it's not about becoming spiritual and, oh, I can't be material now, or I can't enjoy my sexualness, because as a human You know, you are a sexual being. You know, like, and repression is not moral. You know, like when you repress desires, a desire, you know, it's something expressing from you, and it's like an intense, it's like a flame. You feel what I'm saying? It's intense, and so when you try to repress that, all you do is you redirect it, and so that repressed desire is gonna find a way to express in a more destructive way. You know, and this is why, for instance, a lot of corrupt things happen in like the music industry, or like in like churches, you know, and like religions. Before what I'm saying, because they're taught to, like, with musicians, they're like, their sexuality is controlled, you know, and they're not allowed to express their sexuality the way they want to, but the way that the music industry wants them to. But anyways, that's aside the point, you know. So it's like, it's of great importance to understand that as well, that you need to let your energies flow and not try to repress them. And whenever you repress them, they will only become uglier, you know. But yeah, so that's that. You know, the inner journey, the inner spiritual journey is of great importance here with Taurus. Sheesh, man. Yeah. Okay, hold on. And so, my bad, with the moon in Pisces. You know, it's very interesting how I'm gonna have to come back because my battery is gonna die. Maybe it's just me. I didn't come prepared with this reading. But it's all good though. It's all good though. I'll be back.